DBS community, welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super video here with Chris, and today we're going to be evaluating the state of blue going into Supreme Rivalry. Now, I'm going to make an update to my videos and how they're going to be coming out. I was planning on having all these videos out before set 13 drops for the pre-release. It's probably going to be a little more into the weekend, but they still will drop before everyone else gets a chance to, which will be the following week. And as the pattern of these videos go, I go over just the state of the color, going over what's good right now, what cards you should be picking up, and just kind of a discussion about the color itself. So hopefully you guys like these sort of videos. I work pretty hard on these, so hopefully they are enjoyable, educational, just conversation starting. That's the whole point of these type of videos. So make sure you guys like and subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Let me know what you guys think. We do post videos weekly on the channel, and with this Spring Rivalry coming out, we'll have even more videos coming out. I have some pretty cool ideas for some stuff too, so that will be hopefully in the next few weeks. Once my schedule kind of goes back to normal, I'll be able to produce some new interesting content for you guys. So without further ado, we'll get into the context of blue. So for one, blue is a extremely solid choice for best of one format. Now, currently, blue is probably the best choice for best of one format because it's very hard to answer blue when you do not have a sideboard to go against, which definitely puts blue in the running for being the best color. However, when it comes to best of three format, that changes a little bit because now decks have ways to tutor out silver bullets, and there are a lot of cards that do deal with blue pretty well. But blue is still very, very strong color. Let's not get it mistaken. Going into set 13 though, blue has the potential to change the meta with a particular deck that we will talk about. And the price of blue cards still currently right now are not too bad. Obviously you have the secret rares, which are crazy. The TP Trunks has been reprinted like 3 times now. We'll probably see another reprint sometime in the future for some reason. But I don't think it's 3 times. I think it's maybe twice. No, it should be 3. Yeah, it's 3 now. But the fact that that card is so easily accessible and it's still very expensive should really tell you something. But by expensive, I mean it's like between 50 and 70 bucks. Obviously you have the secret rare. God Sealing Technique is going to be getting a reprint, and a set 10 is going to be getting reprinted. So the card itself is going to go down because there's going to be more copies out of it out there. And I'm sure it's going to get power crept by something in the future anyways. But blue's not terribly expensive. Outside of some key component cards, you can really play a good blue deck without having to go super incredibly expensive on some stuff. That brings us to what's in the meta right now and kind of what the top decks are. So we are really looking at 2 particular decks and then kind of a combination of decks. So Soul Striker and Blue Baby are the 2 top blue decks, and really the only blue decks people have been topping with. Majority of matches, I should say. Soul Striker is sort of your mid-range tempo deck where you have the ability to just restand tons of energy every turn and you draw a ton of cards, so your playmaking abilities can really expand between being able to restand energy using your leader ability and also using Sense of Mean and some other cards as well. Blue Baby though really takes the cake on how powerful a control deck can be, and Blue Baby, as you know, plays nothing but counterplays and negates, and the deck is extremely difficult to deal with until they get to turn 7, where they drop the Android 17 and they wipe your entire hand away. The deck is very difficult to deal with. It is beatable, but it's much more difficult in best of 1s. In best of 3s, I think the deck is pretty beatable. I think there's, at least in my experience with playing yellow, I have a lot of answers to what Blue Baby wants to do, and especially with the decks that I play. So I'm not too terrified by Blue Baby, and in some senses you could be, depending on how your draw is. But the deck's topped. It's won. It's done some different things. It's reason why it's a top blue deck, and I don't really think nothing's going to be changing going into set 13, at least with Blue Baby being played. Now the last deck or decks is a combination of Android decks, and when I'm really focusing on these 3 decks is because they're all blue-green variants. And even though they some might play some of the same cards, they all can play around that blue-green strategy. 16 is more of a rival based with the with the 16 arrivals that came out. Android 18, actually Android 16 and Android 18 both have won events in this format, by the way. I believe Android 16 won a European event, and I think Android 18 also won a European event as well. The Android 21 leader has not won an event, but I do think the ability to have a kind of a blue-green aggro deck is kind of possible with this leader. But the combination of these three leaders, you can probably find one that actually could be a top-tier deck. And it really just, I guess, boils down to the pilot more so, because we haven't seen a ton of blue-green testing, and with Android 16 probably being the more formidable one, the one that people actually want to play, we haven't really seen a list outside of the list that won. I think it was the card market event, maybe. I could be wrong about that, so if I'm wrong, forgive me. But the leader itself has a very good engine. Yeah, it is a late game deck, but it is a blue-green deck, and you have some very big boss monsters that you can play in that deck. It can get a little scary. So I think any three of the Android decks, if these three Android decks are pretty good, which brings us into our next deck, which is another Android deck. Now this deck is going to be my untapped potential for the video, which is going to be Android 17 Universal Guardian. Now this is a leader that came out in set 9. Came out in the same set as Invoker, and this is technically an Invoker leader. It is a blue Invoker leader, and this leader never really saw too much play. It's been kind of a strange one, pitching Universe 11 cards to your drop area to draw cards, and your leader can draw cards. And then on the other side, you have the ability to return any of your opponent's battle cards to their hand, pick up a U7 card from your drop area. And then if you have more than 9 multicolors or Universe 7 cards, you can gain double strike, 5k, and crit for the turn. Now this is very interesting, and I do think this could be something that could be very powerful going into the future. If you look at this leader and you don't look at the blue-green portion of it, your leader has the ability to drop you 7 cards, which could be potentially good for some sort of drop area U7 archetypes. But being a blue-red leader, I mean, you could really play the cooler engine and slap the Invoker Vegeta in there, or slap the you can slap the Vegeta Invoker. You can slap the Frieza Invoker with swap. You can do a few different things, but having access to Invoker could make this deck very interesting. But it's sort of a mid-range sort of Invoker deck. So you can kind of run like a middle-of-the-road Invoker deck, where maybe you run Tyranny's Cost for draw power, you run We Are Universe 7 for board wiping. Being able to get that card back is pretty nice as well. You can pitch We Are Universe 7 off of your leader ability to draw a card and then put it back in your hand. You have some interesting things you can do. I think this is an archetype that hasn't been explored enough, and I think with the release of more U7 cards, I think this leader will become even better. And I think it's something people should look at, especially if you do play a lot of blue, because blue-red has always been, it's never really gone away as being very powerful. It's always been powerful. It just sort of got pushed out by things that are, I guess, were considered more exciting. But it's something to visit, and I think people should try it, see how it does. Who knows, maybe someone will find a list that actually works. Next is going to be the upcoming meta changer, and I do believe it's going to be Super Saiyan 2 Son Gohan. I think this leader, and I apologize for saying this because I don't play blue, but I do think this leader is probably I think this is a better Soul Striker leader. I know that sounds weird because Soul Striker can restand energy. I think with this leader, being able to take energy and add it to your hand and then place energy back in active mode is very powerful. It's just very powerful. I really love the idea of this. And what seems very cool is that you can place a card in your place. You can take an energy from your hand, and then you can choose to put an energy down. I do know there are some interesting things you can do with the Zeno Unison. I don't remember if I think Zeno only says if the card is still in your energy, you put it in the drop area. So you have the ability to kind of self-ramp a little bit in there as well. You do have some skillless synergy, which you have built in with the all of the energy fortification, all of these cards here, the energy fortification guys. You have the ability to work with those and play out your 2-drop skillless Saiyans, and you can do some stuff with that. Now, even though it's, your activate battle only works for skillless Saiyans, I mean, you have some interesting things you can do with skills. Let's just say that. I think the biggest thing you can look at is Janempa. The Janempa skillless packages. Going up the chain in the Janempa. I think it's very powerful. I think it could be something that could work really well in the deck. I also think you can do something with the Boo chain in the deck. With the new 1-drop Boo that came out in Battle Evolutions, I think there are some very strong abilities that you can do with this deck. And I think somebody will end up finding something that actually ends up working. Hopefully, I am really excited to see this leader played. And then one of the big things, or most importantly, is going to be the deflect finisher that is in this deck, which is probably it's going to be one of the cards that I'm going to talk about in one of the other segments. But having a strong deflect boss monster in a blue deck when you're playing against blue is extremely powerful. Especially a card that's really, it's actually uncounterable in almost every case, except for maybe 1 or 2 cards that can counter it in the game. So we'll get into that, but I definitely think Son Gohan is going to make its stand as being one of the best blue decks in the format. I think it can push out Soul Striker in some sense. We'll have to see. I'll let the experienced blue players try this and tap with it, and then they'll do what they need to do. I'll just sit on the sideline and, play my yellow decks and just, play silver bullets against this stuff. So for some key components, these are cards that you can pick up that are not very expensive, but could have some usage whether in a main board or a sideboard. So one is going to be the Anti-Dimensional Slice. This is a promo that came out in last set that no one really cared about. I think it's like $1. But this works with the Janemba package for 2 energy, activate battle. You choose one of your evil incarnate cards, you give it 15k power. Then you play 1 blue evil incarnate card with energy cost of 2 from your drop area. This could be any of the 2-drops Janempas, which could essentially help you go up the chain again. It's a cool card. It is 2 energy, so maybe that's why a lot of people kind of went away from the card, but it is a TP card. And one of the rules I have about this game is if TPs are cheap, you buy them, because TPs generally not sometimes, but generally get some form of support down the road, and when they do, then they go up in price again. The next one's going to be Gogeta Pursuit of Power. This is the starter deck, Vegito Unison, that came out. And this has some very interesting usages with the Gohan leader, because he is a blue Saiyan. And you can use the permanent, which you cannot take damage whenever you have a blue Saiyan in rest mode. He has a -1. I'm sorry, it's a plus-minus, where you can tap your leader or a battle card to add a marker, and you can -2 to draw a card, and choose one of your opponent's battle cards at higher energy cost than their current energy, ignoring barrier, and bottom deck it. This is very important because Sin Shinron is still going to be very, very powerful in the next set, and when you can just pay 2 energy to essentially kill it, or you tap or you play it on turn 3 and then just -2 and then just bottom deck it. You can get rid of the guy who wipes all your skills off the board. It's pretty good. Also works with anything else too. Dark Broly, Red Broly, any of the other decks that play a lot of big battle cards are going to play big battle cards in the future. You can just end up bottom decking almost anything in the game. Next is going to be the Majin Buu 1-drop, as I talked about earlier. This is the card that sets you up into the 7-drop chain, which is really what the deck was missing. The problem is the deck has to be, your leader and energy has to be mono blue, and you can only do it past turn 3. But this does give you some very interesting components where you can basically tap this on turn 3, go into it, and if you're playing Soul Striker, you can basically stay in 2 energy. If you're playing Gohan, you can take an energy, play another energy, in active mode, and then Sensu Bean, and then you're kind of getting the same effect. The last card is going to be Gogeta, A Hero's Advent. This is a card that came out in the expansion set forever ago. This actually came out when I started playing, I think in around the set 8, set 8, set 9 range. It's a 4-drop blocker. You play this card, choose all your opponent's battle cards 3 or less, and place them at the bottom of their deck in any order. It's a cool card. For 4 energy, obviously I know it's very, very expensive, but this is a card that I feel like we may get a fusion target for later on in the game, where maybe you have a Goku and a Vegeta where maybe they have an ability where they can fuse from the board, and then they can play out a 4-drop Gogeta BR. It could be something that could be useful. I don't think it's a great sideboard card, but I think this is more so a card you pick up because it's extremely cheap. And then if this card ever becomes playable, or if you find a way to be able to play it in your deck, you have a way of being able to play it. And then some important pickups from the new set. We have Super Saiyan 2 Sun Gohan at Outstanding Strike. Astonishing Strike, I'm sorry. This is the Deflect boss monster that I was talking about in the Sun Gohan segment. Triple Strike. You swing, and then you can restand it. After you place a blue battle card from your energy in the drop area, choose all your opponent's battle cards and place them at the bottom of their deck in any order. And then now you basically have a 30k Triple Strike dual attack that has Deflect. Can't be hit by Trunks. It's a 10 cost, so it can't be hit by Frieza. It's nuts. It's a very, very good card, and you can play it out for 4 energy. When you play this card, and then you I was trying to read it here. If your leader is a blue Saiyan and your opponent has 3 more energy, you choose one of your blue skillless battle cards, energy cost of 2. Play this card from your hand, and if you played this card, place the chosen card in your energy. So you get to swing with the skillless card, pay 4 energy, play this card, and then put the skillless in your energy in active mode. So technically, you only play 3 for this guy. So it's pretty cool. The unison that I picked was the Pan and Giru unison. So I was gonna pick this guy. This is the Majin Buu guy here, the SPR version of him, but this is the Majin Buu one, which is a 4-drop. It's a cool card. It's a very interesting, powerful card, but I actually don't think it's very good. I think it's very good for certain situations. I think it's kind of it's a Mechikabura, or a Mechikabura for blue. But your leader has to be blue. I think it's really the only thing. But like I said, this is a really good card. But I like the Pan and Giru effect just for overall. So being able to -2 to stop your opponent from attacking with higher cost battle cards, basically they can only attack once. It's a very, very powerful effect. This was a close second in the unison slot because of it being a blocker, can restand an energy and draw you a card, and then you can bottom deck something. So it is a very good card in that sense, but I wanted to give some shout outs to a different card that wasn't an SR, because I know I could just put SRs up here and everyone just go, oh yeah, these are the SRs, you should buy these cards, but I wanted to try something a little bit different with this one. So you can add a battle card from your energy to your hand. It's 1 cost. And if you do, you can play a battle card. You can play put a mono blue card from your hand in your energy and rest mode. So one thing that you can do is you can grab the Majin Buu card here. So when you activate this ability, this card goes in your energy and rest mode. You can then use this card's +1 to add that card back to your hand, and then put another card in rest mode in your energy. So then you can get your 1-drop back to play your 1-drop again to draw a card. And then on the next turn, then you can use the activate main again. So then you can use it again on the other turn. And then the extra card is going to be the Galactic Buster. I think this is a very underrated card. If your leader is a Bojack Brigade, which works with the yellow leader as well, or just a mono blue card, you choose 1 mono blue card with a combo cost of 1 in your energy, draw 1, choose the chosen card. Choose the chosen card in a combo. If it's your opponent's turn, you use the card in the combo with the skill. Place this card in your energy from your drop area at the end of the battle. Switch 1 of your energy to rest mode, and you can't activate the activate battle skill on this card. So it just allows you to combo with stuff, and it's a 0 cost. So it makes up for the fact that you're taking a card with a combo cost, and then combo with it, and then you're putting this card in your energy. But it also just allows you to draw a card. So it's a free activate battle. And that's what's good about it. It's free. So it's a free draw one, and you get a combo off of it. And that's just a good idea for a card. So I know people aren't really looking at this because they saw the Bojack part and they're like, I'm not playing Bojack. And I didn't talk about Bojack really in this video. As big of a Bojack fan as I am, I'm not a big fan of the blue leader. I think it's okay. I don't think anyone's gonna play it, unfortunately. I just think it's gonna be the deck that has everybody kind of looking at it and oh yeah, that's cool, and then no one's gonna play it. I think it's a worse version of Turles. And I just think people are just not going to touch it, unfortunately. I think Gohan's very sought after, and then Blue Baby being such a big deal, people are just going to play the Blue Baby deck as well. But thank you guys for watching. That's all I got for you guys today. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. If you guys like what you guys saw, share it on Facebook, share it to other people. Like I said, we just like having discussions with this sort of stuff. These are obviously my opinion. Only my opinion only. So if you guys have something you agree with, you disagree with, just put it in the chat. Just be respectful, be positive. This is a card game after all, so let's make sure we keep that in mind. But as always, thank you guys for watching. Hit the bell, like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.